G'day guys, Jesse here from King Domes. Just going to show you a quick video on how to install our porthole window. So this is our porthole window. As you can see, there is a port, it's glass, aluminium frame. This is our newest and greatest model so far. I'm very excited to launch this simply because we finally have a mesh screen on it. So very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, so this is our porthole window. I got too excited in the video and already took the ring off, which is down there on the floor. But same as the solar fan, the chimney port. It's just a ring that clamps the porthole window to the cover to make it nice and sealed. But yeah, so basically the next steps, I'm not actually going to do it because that will bore you more than when I go on about all these videos in the first place. So but yeah, that's the fire screen there. Simple locking mechanism. But so basically what the first thing you're going to do, take that ring off. Then the next part you're going to do is grab your impact driver. Just please be obviously delicate, you are dealing with glass here. And we're going to take these off. Like such. Make sure, because these are very small screws, that you do not lose them. I usually just grab a Ziploc bag and put them in that. There you go. Come on, it's a bit tedious, that one. So 4 in total. Just gonna put them in this bag for now. And next thing you're gonna do, whether you lay it flat or stand it up, it's up to you. It might be personal preference in this regard. You're gonna grab a, what is that, 3mm, 4mm, 3. I guess we're gonna find out, aren't we? That is, I didn't even check what it was, guys. This is terrible on my end. 3mm, I knew it. Why would I second guess myself? But anyway, I'm not going to actually show you this because it takes a little while. This is probably the most tedious process of the entire porthole window install, but you're just going to take this out as such. So I'll pause it and then get back to you. Alrighty, so this is the bolt that came out there. That's what attaches this, because basically what we're doing is we're taking the glass off to make sure that 1, easiest installation, 2, that we're not going to shatter that window. Talking from experience there, because of, well, basically negligence, I accidentally dropped the glass, and you know what happens when you drop glass, unfortunately. Yeah, so next stage we're going to do is just close this one for a sec. So open the porthole back up, and you see there, it's all come off. I'll put this one here for a second. So you want to take this one here off, pop that in the Ziploc bag there. Then you're going to come to these, very important with these ones. So you see there's this, it looks like a bit like a bullet, and then you have this nice, what would you call that, like a copper ring. That's what allows the porthole to open and close with minimal resistance. Make sure you see how that one's stuck inside there. So just, this is embarrassing, isn't it? Come on. Okay, give me a sec. It's nearly there. Okay, this is embarrassing. Come on, buddy. Alright, we're experiencing a bit of teething problems. It's nice and secure in there for some reason, so until otherwise, I'm just going to leave it in there. But yes, please make sure you do not lose those. Yes, the next step, which I have already done over here, just because it is a little bit tedious. You're going to grab your manual there, here on the floor. Then you reference on it the position of the porthole windows. With the porthole windows comes 3 bars. Depending on which size of dome, you'll either get 2 of the same size, 1 difference, or 3 different sizes. but they'll just be referencing the plan there. They all have numbers on them, so 2, 1, and 3. Again, different size domes may have different numbers, but the general gist is exactly the same. So depending on which size dome you have, you're either connecting them to the bolts that put the frame together, or with the larger domes, there's going to be individual steel members, which are these here, that may have holes in them. We'll use this triangle just because we can see it as an example. This is on a bigger triangle. Actually, sorry, this one here, because this is how they always formate. So you may have one there. I'm just going to stay here, and then say one here and one here. But because this is a 6 meter dome, it will actually bolt straight to the frame, which will be that one, and that one up there. So I've already done that over here and actually put the porthole window in. So like such, like such, like such. Again, bigger ones, they may be there and there instead, but for the sake of this one, so you're going to grab, again, there are designated bolts for the porthole window. They are M8s, they are stainless steel bolts. As I mentioned in other videos, anything that has a penetration through the cover, we use stainless steel, so minimal rust issues basically. They are, I think they are universal on all of them from memory, and they are 30mm and 60mm long M8s. So those are the ones that you're using. They've got 5mm Allen key heads on the end so that you can tighten them up. So basically what we're doing is installing this. Initially we are installing it back to front, so it actually opens. If the porthole window was on, it would open towards me right now. The reason why we're doing that is so that we can trace this ring to cut the hole. Obviously that's not the best view in the world at the moment, but it will be when you cut this. So that's what we're doing there. This is a lot easier with 2 people, because person 1 is going to be on the outside feeding a Stanley knife around the perimeter. Please remember, again, use a brand new blade. A blade is cents, but a new cover is thousands of dollars. You don't have to replace a whole cover if you screw up, but you'll have to patch it. May not look as good. So that's what we're doing there. Reason I've got the insulation here, this is a guideline, so all the insulation up there is done, but we go to the second tier. Doesn't matter which porthole, which size dome you're in, the porthole window will always be in the second tier. We are exploring with our larger domes, potentially putting some in the first tier, but for now, second tier. But the insulation anyway will show that, because as you can see, there is a hole in this insulation. There is a hole there, hole for the chimney port, hole for the solar extraction fan, ventilation ports, all have holes in them. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The reason why we put this up, I haven't attached it, as you can see, except for up the top, is purely just as a reference. So you just temporarily hang that, and you have, as I mentioned, the M8 bolts there, here and here. There are 3 in total. You put the insulation there so that you can tighten and loosen it, so that you can pivot and adjust the porthole to be center of this hole, because you don't want to cut a hole in this and then it's slightly off whack, and so you look at it and there are imperfections basically. So the little bit more time and care put into doing this in the first place really helps with this. But yeah, so that's pretty much the general gist for that one. So the next step, which unfortunately I won't be able to film, but the gist is the same, is going from the outside, running the blade. Have I got the blade on me? I've got a blade here. So running the blade inside, not on the outside, which is where my finger is, which you can't see now. You're putting it here. So you're running this line so that the blade cannot slip and cut the cover. So that's what we're doing, and I'll come back with the update. For the hole for the window, you're going to have to take the screen off, which is very simple. It's just to get a small Phillips head screwdriver. There's only 3 screws here, here, and here. You just take them off. Please make sure they are very small. So again, look after them. Ziploc bag. So knight in shining armor right there. So you just take them off. I won't do it in the video because it makes sense. But yeah, so I'll get onto that and then we'll go to the next bit. Alright, that's all cut as promised. You get a beautiful view. I did start this a little bit late, it's now 6 o'clock, so well and truly in the sunset. But yeah, so that's it. As you can see, it's not perfect, doesn't have to be perfect because this does get hidden. But it's, yeah, close enough. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to now take this off, put it on the outside, turn it around, put it on, screw it in. That's pretty straightforward. I don't have to show you how to do it. It's literally this, spun around, put back in, and put exactly how it is. So I'll do that and then come back to you. Alright, so I've gone to the outside. Well, I've taken this off first, gone to the outside, just slid it in. It sits nice and flush. Because we cut it on the inside, it sits up nice and tight against there, so it doesn't, I guess it flaps, but it won't really. Well, it definitely will go anywhere if you really give it a shake or if it's nice high wind, which is why we anchor it. So yeah, so again, 1, 2 and 3, going to bolt those all down and then get started on sealing it. Alrighty, so next step here, unfortunately did get a bit too dark last night, so I had to wait till the morning, but basically I'm not going to show you doing it because it's pretty straightforward. These are the bolts that attach to the ring. So all I've done is put a 6mm drill bit on a drill, and you just feed through the holes similar to the solar fan, sorry. So you just poke them through, obviously making sure that you're not scratching the frame of the porthole window itself. Poke them through, push the bolts through, and then basically just screw it off with a nut. From memory, the nuts themselves use a 10mm spanner and is it a 4? It's a 4mm Allen key for this one here. And you just tighten that up, and then the next stage there, which I haven't done on this one, but I have done on the other one, which I'll pause for a sec to go to the other one. So then the next step is basically just running a line of silicone around the perimeter of that one. Just make sure, rags are very cheap, so don't skip out on rags. Make sure it's nice and clean. This is the finished product, so you want to make it nice and neat. And then we'll do the same on the inside, which I'll show you. Now on the inside, so this one here is more or less like, it's not absolutely necessary because you have silicone on the outside, but I do it more so for the bolts sake, and then just in case, silicone can just wear over time, so just having that second barrier there. But so I run a lot of silicone underneath this, so you can get under there, just there. So that's where you've penetrated the cover to cut the hole. Just silicone that section, and then around. I do the outside for the bottom section, and then the inside for the top section, because rain, obviously water can't travel up, so just there is sufficient, and then at the bottom is sufficient. Yeah, so that's how you do that. This is now sealed, so then the last step is basically just putting the actual porthole window onto it, which I'll run through now. Alrighty, so now it's time to fit the porthole window itself. So basically how we do it is the same way that we took the porthole window off, just in reverse obviously. So grab your copper cylinder there, slide it in, remembering that I couldn't get the other side out for various reasons. I mean, as long as it's in there, that's the main thing. Push it in. I would have got it out if I just used a screwdriver or something, but yeah, so you basically just leave it like that. Make sure the rounded end is at the facing outwards, flat end is inside the mechanism itself. Then you grab the porthole window, which is over here. Be careful with this bit, obviously it is glass, so just being mindful of that. And yet here I am doing it with one hand, Great stuff. And just so I'm not littering, put that in there. Then making sure the handle itself is loose, so just be mindful that it's not going to swing and smash straight into, but that's how it sits on. Nice and easy. Let's go up there for now. Then the next part, so that will just rest there, provided obviously there's no big enough wind that it will knock off, so just be attentive when it comes to that section. Next part, grab. I apologise if this is very shaky, trying to do this one hand is interesting. And grab your plate. So obviously there's two sides. The side where the screw holes is indented, that's the side that's going to be sticking out towards you. Pop it on as such. Stay there, beautiful. Then you just grab your impact driver. No, you can use obviously a screwdriver if you want to use a screwdriver. And again, being very mindful with these screws because they are very small. Guys, you're not going to be looking at the best footage at the moment. But that is the back of our insulation. So, in case you're interested, it is 6 to 8 mil thick aluminium bubble sheeting. Acts as a reflector panel, traps the heat between the outer cover and the insulation itself. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with one hand because I have to hold the screw and the screwdriver. So basically what you do, screw, 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 try to alternate sides. So I'll do that and then I'll come back to you. Alright, so that part's done. So the only thing left to do for the porthole window itself is just attaching this to here. I recommend just doing it inside just because otherwise you have to deal with the window being tilted in front of you. So I'm going to head inside and show you guys how to do that. Now we're on the inside, so grab the window. Please make sure you're not slamming it. So just bring it down nice and easy. Shorten that one up. You'll see there is a feed hole and a threaded hole. Threaded hole is the direction that you're going to be going to, not from. So you'll see by basically you can slide that in, but you can't slide that one in because you have to screw it. So yep. So again, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with hands. With one hand, you basically just line it up and then feed it through. This is a bit tedious, I know, because you have to try and get an Allen key in this small gap here, but once it's done, it's done. You don't have to do it again. So apologize for that slight inconvenience, but you got to do what you got to do to get a nice beautiful finished product. So I'll get onto that one and then walk onto the last step, which is putting the fly screen on. Alrighty, that's all done. So nice and easy. Open it up. Oh, again, two hands. Let me see. Oh, I did it one-handed. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice and easy. Feeling that breeze coming through. Look at that nice view. Last step is installing the mesh screen. So I'll get onto that one just now. Alrighty, so next step, so I've just gone and rehung the insulation around. So it looks nice and clean, but also just because your 3 screw points are there and there, doesn't want to get in the way. So yeah, so I won't be able to show you how to do this, but obviously there's your screen. Gosh, I like saying obviously a lot. Sometimes it isn't really that obvious. This is your screen. Make sure that the pivot point opens inwards. So right now I've got it the wrong way. Good stuff. Great show there, but I guess that shows you what I'm talking about. So we'll go that way, find the screw hole and screw it in. That's not rocket science, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll get onto that one and show you the finished result. Alrighty, and we're done. That is how you do a porthole window. So let's open up, open and close. beautiful. Okay, Jesse from King Domes, showing you how to do a porthole window. Cheers.